It is Wednesday again. This is the Wednesday weekly learning session. My name is Carlos Navi. I do this every Wednesday for local bartending school at 3 p.m. Pacific time, at 6 p.m. Eastern time. You're always welcome to be a part of this class and ask me any questions about anything. If you're already a student enrolled in local bartending school, there's one link you can go to where you'll go right in. If you're not an enrolled student, there is another link. They're going to ask you a little bit of information, and then you'll get the link to come into this class live. So I've been a bartender for 20 plus years now in several different states and 2 different countries. I've been training bartenders for local bartending school for about 8 years now. Started doing it when I lived in Florida, continued to do it when I moved back to California. So I do this, I do in-persons, I do one-on-ones. And if you're in the school, you might recognize me from some of the online videos that are part of the course that I shout out here, where I live in San Luis Obispo in Central California. So, excuse me. I always kind of try to come up with a different topic, something to talk about different each week. And we'll talk a little bit about some Easter cocktails. I started talking about it last week, but we'll talk about some more here and get some more Easter ideas here as we're going. But I went to Belize with my wife a couple of weeks ago for her father's 70th birthday. And I was sitting at, LAX airport waiting to get on my flight. So I decided to go by the bar and stop and have a cocktail. And I started talking to a bartender there that kind of is where I got this topic and where I started to get this idea. A big part of being a bartender is just dealing with the guests. You're a frontline employee. So that means you're talking to the customers, you're dealing directly with the public. So that is a big part of it. And, it can be hard to handle a bunch of different attitudes and personalities. And you really have to deal with that. And especially when people are drinking, it kind of intensify their personality, So it is hard to kind of juggle all these things. And the other thing to remember, I think this is kind of funny, we're all the center of our own universe. You are what you think about most. That is just the way it is. So people really don't think when they're out. And they have a tendency to ask some silly questions, to ask some, annoying questions. You get expected questions like, hey, where's the restroom? And I worked at a place called AJ Seafood and Oyster Bar in Destin, Florida. And it used to get us all the time. You come in from the docks and there's a giant sign that says restrooms right there. And people would never look up. They just come to the bar. Where's the restroom? We just point to the sign, right? Where that sign says the restroom is. So, but that's an expected question. Where's the restroom? Where's the front desk? Where's the pool? Where's this? Where that? Is an easy question you should be expected to answer. But as I was sitting in LAX, it's a giant airport. I'm sitting in the international terminal. There's a lot going on. I started talking to Ron, the bartender at LAX. And he was a good guy. He was having some fun telling me some stories about things he had seen. And, I started to realize that, and I'm talking to him about it, people at airports have this certain sense of entitlement. Because they bought a ticket to be on an airplane, they feel like, the airport's there to serve them. And that's really not the way it works. So, it was kind of funny talking to him and hearing some of his stories. I was curious too to ask him about, being an airport bartender, because I was always curious, because I've never done that. So I was kind of curious how it is and how the situation is. He said it's pretty good, pretty good deal. They've got their own designated parking area. They don't have to deal with the parking, with the general public. They don't come through the regular security check. There's a separate security check for employees. So they're not waiting in long lines for, hundreds of people to go through to get on their airplanes. And he said he made really good tips because basically they're always busy. LAX airport is always going to have people in it. There are always people at the airports traveling, going someplace, doing something. So it is a good, steady job. So I started to share a little of that information, from someone that works at the airport, from someone that works for one of the larger airports in the United States. But what also comes with that was him having to answer some silly questions and also hearing, some very silly comments. I thought this one was very funny. He said a woman walked up to the bar. He had never seen this woman before in his life. It's not like she was sitting at the bar earlier. Random woman just walked up to the bar and says, "Have you seen my husband?" He has no idea who her husband is or what her husband looks like. It's like, how would I know if I've seen your husband? I don't know who your husband is. So I found that very amusing. The other thing he was bringing up that I thought this is very funny. He worked in a bar that is you come up a couple stairs, like 5 or 6 stairs, and there's a round terminal and there's 4 or 5 gates there around it. He's working at the bar in the middle. The restroom is down those 6 stairs to the right. So people, often come up, where's the bathroom? Where's the bathroom? Just go right down those stairs on the right-hand side. Just go right down those stairs on the right-hand side. He said a woman came up one day doing the dance, doing the potty dance. Oh, I got to go. Where's the bathroom? So it's right down those stairs to the right-hand side. And she looked at him and said, why isn't it up here? As if they consulted him when they designed the Tom Bradley terminal at the Los Angeles International Airport. There's no answer for that. Like, they didn't ask me, when they designed it. So I thought that was funny. The other thing I saw him deal with, a couple times is, besides the bar, there was a cooler with pre-made sandwiches, soda, stuff like that. People come up asking how much a sandwich is, and then be shocked at the price of an airport prepackaged sandwich. And, it's to be expected. You're at the airport, number one. Number two, the bartender doesn't control the prices. It's very funny that people act as if I'm taking the money that they're paying for the drink and putting it in my pocket, because that's not happening. And that's not going on. So, we don't control the prices. Just, sometimes you have to remind people, I'm sorry, but I have no control over the price. I don't set that. And most people go, yeah, you know what, you're right, you don't. So, those are just some of the fun ones. So I started looking some up. My personal big pet peeve when dealing with customers is, I'm busy. It's a packed bar. There's people all over the place. Someone will stop me and go, excuse me. It's always rude. Excuse me, I'm ready to order. Okay, what can I get for you? Then that person goes, well, what are you thinking about? They have no idea what they want to order. Don't ever stop a bartender and say you're ready to order if you don't know what you want to order, especially when he's busy. He or she is busy, and running around. So that was my personal one I threw in there. I looked up some of these and I found some very common ones that a lot of bartenders get, a lot of times that can be annoying. I find them somewhat humorous. What do you make best? And whatever you want to drink. It doesn't matter to me what I make. Basically, I'm a machine. You give me an order, I give you a drink. There's no thought process in my mind of, oh, I don't want to make this, or, oh, I like making this, or anything like that. A drink is a drink. I'm going to make it. Give me the order. I'll make the drink. What I make best is whatever you want. What's your favorite drink to make? A Bud Light bottle. Because all I have to do is pop it open and hand it to you. When people ask that, what's your favorite drink to make? Just tell me what you want me to make, okay? I don't pick and choose what's my favorite, what's not my favorite. When I'm behind the bar, I'll make whatever you want. What do you want, This one gets me a couple different ways. Can you make a 4-toed basking lizard? Like, what? A what? I don't know every crazy drink that's been invented in the world. And, put in that situation, first thing to do, ask the person if they know what's in it. Do you know what's in it? If you know what's in it, I can put it in the cup, but I've never heard of that because that sounds pretty crazy. The other one I used to get a lot of times when I worked at the beach in Florida was basically, it's the same concept of the question, which is, I think it's 3 summers ago, we were down in Key West and we went to a bar called the Purple Parrot Bar, and they had a drink called the Purple Parrot Punch. Can you make that? I've never been to Key West. When you were down there at the Purple Parrot Bar, did you see me? No, I wasn't there. I have no idea what's in that, So it's kind of funny. The same one that goes along with that, it get me in Florida a lot of times. Most people are pretty cool about it. Was someone would come in and say, "Hey, can you make me what you made me last year?" Like, ooh, I've dealt with 50,000 people since the last time you were here. I have no idea what I made you last year. And most people would be understanding. Oh, okay, I understand that. You don't remember, someone that comes in once a year. This one cracks me up too. Will this give me a headache? I don't know. I am not your doctor. I don't know your drinking habits. I don't know if you have a certain aversion to something. I don't know. You should know what gives you a headache and what doesn't. Um, this one I looked up and I thought, no, because I've never heard it, but apparently it's asked a lot. Does muddled mean there's mud in the drink? No, there is no mud in the drink. Muddled means we're mashing fruit or roots or stuff like that. It does not mean that we put mud into the drink. Um, this one, someone walks up, just give me a beer. Any beer? Any particular beer? I worked at a bar once in Southern California, served 175 different beers, and people would walk in and go, give me a beer. Which one? What kind of beer do you like? I don't know that you always drink Bud Light. So be nice about it. Don't be rude. I'm saying all the things I wish I could have said to people here that didn't say, I wish I could have said to people over a real bar. Yeah. What kind of beer? What do you drink, man? It's my birthday. Do I get a free shot? And this comes up all the time. Certain places have a policy. Yeah, do it. Some places have a comp tab where I could, like, yeah, it's a person's birthday. I'll buy them a shot. I'll put it on my comp tab and have it comped off. But, someone that's trying to get something free is probably a cheapskate. And that's the way it goes. If you happen to notice it's someone's birthday and I send a shot over, that's different than coming up, it's my birthday, where's my free shot? And, most likely you're not going to get a big tip, if any, out of that person if they stay and order anything else. A lot of people will try to do that. They'll just go to a bar, get their free shot, and leave, and just go to the next bar and try to get their free shot at the next bar and keep moving, throughout their birthday. So, if it's, if you're a place that allows for it and a place that gives a free shot, that's fine. Go ahead and do it. But if most places, no, I'm sorry, we don't do anything for birthdays, or at a lot of restaurants, it's like, yeah, you get a free dessert, gives you a free piece of key lime pie, but no, we don't give out free shots for birthdays. Pick something. So the next one, is this drink gluten free? I'm going to do a little more research into this and, try to get a proper answer from a reliable source. But I'm pretty sure the distillation process removes all gluten, because what you end up with is something 95 to 99% pure alcohol, especially if it's triple or quadruple distilled. What you have is 99% or more pure alcohol. There's really not any gluten. There's really not any gluten for it. I will research it more. I will get a definite answer, but I think most alcohols are gluten-free. A margarita, there's no gluten in tequila. There's no gluten in lime juice and sugar and orange liqueur. So, it's really not, though, my job as the bartender to know everything that's gluten-free, and necessarily not, if it's that big a deal to the person, they should know what they can have when they go out to a restaurant and what they can't have when they go out to a restaurant. Never fail with Tito's. Offer them Tito's. Tito's is gluten-free. It's made from corn. Next one I got here. Oh, this one's the worst. Someone tells you, I'll take care of you later. Hey, I'm here and you're here. Take care of me now. We're right here. Why would we have to wait till later? Pretty much they're telling you they're going to tip you crappy. That you're probably going to get 10 to 15% tip. So know that one. I'll take care of you later. This is one of the most annoying ones that comes up, and it comes up all the time. Do you make a good blank? Insert drink. Do you make a good martini? Do you make a good Manhattan? Do you make a good this? Do you make a good that? No. All the drinks I make suck. Yes. All the drinks I make are good. Just tell me what you want. Not one is not going to be better than the other. I make them all properly. I put a proper effort into all of them. I do them all the correct way. It's what you want. Nothing I make is made any better than any other cocktail. So it's just a bad question to ask the bartender, what do you make good? The other one that kind of goes along with that one is what's good here? Implying that we serve stuff that's bad, which we don't. Everything's good here. If it wasn't, we wouldn't sell it and we wouldn't serve it. So, just one of those kind of silly questions that you get. This one's pretty annoying too. Make it strong, or what's a strong drink? You know, if you want to pay for a double, I can make your drink strong. I'll give you a double pour. I'll make you a strong drink. But if you pay for a shot, you get a shot. You pay for an ounce and a half, you're going to get an ounce and a half. That's the way it works. It's you can't go to McDonald's and be like, hey, throw in some extra fries in the bag. Don't worry, I'll take care of you. It doesn't work that way. You're paying for something, you're getting exactly what you paid for. And because we've practiced and we know we have a perfect pour, we know we're giving them the right amount, we're giving them exactly what they pay for. Anyone that wants something for free is not a good tipper. It means they're cheap. Plain and simple, that's the way it goes. So, can you make it strong? I can pour you a double. What's a strong drink? Long Island, usually I suggest that person that's like, oh, it's a really strong drink. That's a person that's definitely trying to get the most buzz they can for the least amount of money. They're also not going to tip you good. I saw this one come up a lot, and I've had kind of variations of this one asked to me from time to time through my years. What's cheap? You're cheap. Okay, that's the end result of that every time. I was working at a restaurant in Destin, Florida, and I wasn't working the main bar upstairs this day. I was working a downstairs bar that connects to the beach, and this is generally where they send people that are waiting for dinner. You get an hour, 90-minute wait for your table. There's a bar downstairs. There's video games for the kids. You can take a drink out to the beach and relax, and we'll page you, when it's time for your table to come up. So the restaurant had been off a wait for a while. I had pretty much cleaned up. I was about to cash my money out and call it a day. When I see a guy coming down the staircase, ATM debit card in hand, walks in, looks at me and says, what can I get for $3.50? That's it. Said, I can get you a bottle of beer. It costs $3. Domestic. Imports are $4. You can't make me a drink or cocktail? No, that costs $6. I can't do it for $3.50. And, do I think I'm going to get a tip out of this guy? Obviously not. And he ended up just taking a Budweiser and ran his card for $3 and no tip. And he sat there forever, keeping me from leaving when I really wanted to leave because my day was over and I was done and ready to go home. So yeah, very annoying. What's cheap? People asking what's cheap. I worked at a place here that's very expensive called the Madonna Inn. And that was kind of one of the nicest things of being in a very expensive place like that, is that people knew when they walked in the door, they were going to spend money. You're at a very expensive place. So it's very rare for someone to ask what stuff cost. And once again, I would never say this because it was pretty much of the attitude. If you have to ask how much stuff costs, you might be in the wrong restaurant. You might be looking for a different restaurant. So yeah, we want the people that don't care, the people that, want to spend money and don't really care about it. Really? You need to check my ID? Yes, that's why I asked for it. Maybe you are 35 or 40. I still need to see your ID because I'm protecting myself. I'm protecting the establishment, making sure I don't serve anyone underage. It's funny how many times I've gotten that from someone and then looked at their ID and they were 24 or 25 years old. And it's like, really? You're 25 years old and you're getting upset that someone asked you for your ID? Come on. Yes, I'm serious. I need your ID. Why do you have to hold my credit card? Because I don't know you and I don't trust you. I don't know who you are. You may be the deadbeat walk out on the tab guy known all over, New Jersey, but I don't know you here. So no, I don't know you. I need to hold your credit card to secure your tab and keep a tab open. That's it, plain and simple. Surprise me. Like a dealer's choice. Just make me whatever. It's never going to go well because I don't know this person. I don't know their taste. I don't know what they like. I get a little information out of that. Well, what kind of liquor do you like at least? If they can give me gin, vodka, rum, tequila, whiskey, okay, maybe I could do something with that and at least get something that they're, I think they're going to like that's pushing them in the right direction. But with no guidance at all, it's a crapshoot, and you're not going to win, unfortunately. And it sucks that someone can go do that. Oh, just surprise me or give me whatever, and then take one sip and go, I don't like that, and send it back. And now we're wasting a drink. So try to get a little information out of them in that situation. Do you have anything with no calories? Sure. One bottle of water coming up. That's it. Everything has calories in it. It's all got sugar in it. All the booze has sugar in it. That's the way it works. That's part of it. No, bottle of water. That's all I got. He said, what's good here? Everything's good here. We don't serve, crud. This one gets me. Can I have more olives? And I've had people ask for whole big cups of olives and sat there eating them and snacking them. The bar fruit's not a buffet. I hate when people put their hands in it and call it grazing. I hate when someone asks for a full cup of olives. That was enough olives to last me all night for this entire restaurant. And you're just going to sit here and eat them like it's an appetizer that you're getting, like free appetizer. So very, very annoying. The can I have more olives? This one gets me too. I was always taught you fill the glass up to the top with ice. That's what you do. The ice melts fast, the booze is warm. And that's the way it works. So I'll fill the glass at the top with ice, and someone will be like, can I get less ice? Sure. I'd be happy to pour some of this ice out. What you're going to get now is more mixer. Okay. You're not going to get more alcohol. And people say this one annoys the heck out of me. Fill it up to the top with ice, and they're like, oh, you're not leaving any room to put the booze in. Okay. I'll pour some ice out. You're still getting an ounce and a half. That is what you paid for. It doesn't matter how much ice is in the glass. When someone does that too, oh, can you pour all that ice out? Then we're booze. Okay. And then I make them their drink, and then they're like, it's weak. Well, yes, that's what's going to happen when you have less ice is you're going to have more mixer. It's going to be a weaker drink. So the less ice always gets me. But on occasion, I have met people that only wanted a couple ice cubes, knew it was going to make them a weaker drink. They just didn't like stuff that cold, and they didn't want that cold. And that was all there was to it. So there is, those people out there. Can I put my purse behind the bar? Can I put my jacket behind the bar? Can I put my briefcase behind the bar? Can I put my baby behind the bar? We're not there to store stuff for people. It is very annoying. Can you hold my purse behind the bar? I don't want to be responsible for someone's purse and their personal belongings and their ID, money, credit cards. God knows what else is in there. I usually handle that situation all the same, which is to very nicely explain to the people, behind this bar is very wet and very dirty and very sticky. So I don't want to put your purse behind the bar because it is going to have liquor and juice and cherry juice and stuff spilled on it. And it's going to become wet and dirty and sticky. So I don't want to keep it back here because it's going to get very dirty back here. It gets dirty behind the bar. Most people can accept that. You're always going to have the person, well, what if you put it on that shelf over there or put it over there? I'm sorry, but I can't display your purse on a shelf with the booze and the other stuff we have. I have no place where I can put it out of sight where it's not going to get dirty. It's not going to mess your purse up and destroy your purse. Oh, do you have a phone charger? Can I charge my phone behind the bar? It's not, you're an adult. Your phone and keeping your phone charged is your own responsibility and not mine. I don't ever bring a phone charger into work because I don't ever sit there and charge my phone at work. I keep it in my pocket. I keep it on silent. I don't look at it. I don't mess with it. So I don't care. The only thing I've ever used it for at work is occasionally because a system stereo goes out, I can plug my phone in and play my Pandora. Something reasonable for the restaurant. That's the only time I've had to plug my phone in at work because I was using it for music. Otherwise, I don't bring a cord. So I don't have a cord to offer you. If you have your cord, I don't want to put your phone behind this bar because it is dirty and stuff gets spilled. Okay. In the middle of the shift, this bar gets very dirty behind here. And then we scrub it down every night. Put your phone back here. It's going to get water spilled on it. It's going to get grenadine and sticky stuff spilled on it. It's going to have fruit juice spilled on it. So I don't want to put your phone back here because it's going to get damaged. Speaking of the music and the DJing, people will ask you to adjust the music. Can you turn the music up? Can you turn the music down? Can you play this song for me? I'm busy. I'm not a DJ. I'm here to make drinks, not to, DJ the mood. Most places have a set stereo station, something like Muzak, or they play Pandora, or they play Sirius Radio, or something like that. They have a predetermined, this is the station we listen to, and this is what it's put on every day. And we don't change it. This is the only choice, and this is what we listen to every day. A lot of places also have a predetermined volume that they play it at for different purposes. In a lot of places, much like the lights, because you have dimmer switches for the lights in the bar, a lot of places will put a Sharpie mark. We dim the lights to right there. That is where we like the lights. That is where we want them every night. Same thing with the volume control of the music in the bar. There is a mark. We turn it up to that mark. That is the volume we play the music at in this bar or this restaurant. And what the music does is it absorbs white noise. Basically, if I'm sitting here having a conversation and there's people sitting in an adjacent table having a conversation, if there's no music, I can hear their conversation. They can hear my conversation. A little bit of background music just takes that out. We're not hearing the conversation from the next table. Other thing it does in a lot of restaurant situations is you can use the music to dampen the noise coming out of a kitchen, because it gets really noisy in the kitchen sometimes, and people that sit at tables that are close to the exit of the kitchen sometimes hear some things that they shouldn't hear coming out of the kitchen. So having the appropriate level music blocks that noise. It kind of causes some interference so that they're not hearing stuff that comes out of it. So we have a predetermined volume. We know where we keep it every day. I can't adjust it. It's a predetermined station. It's a predetermined volume. I do not have control over the stereo. Hey, that's not how you make a whatever mojito. That's not how you make a Mai Tai. Oh, can be very aggravating. The novice bartender likes to tell you you're making something wrong. It can also be very annoying I hate to say it, I've been guilty of this a time or two, of telling the bartender that you used to be a bartender or that you are a bartender. Generally we're all pretty cool. You meet another bartender, hey, I'm a bartender here, I'm a bartender here. But I hate when people are like, I used to be a bartender, and you're doing it wrong, because when I used to bartend this and that, I went to professional bartending school. I know how to make these cocktails. I know the proper recipe. I know I'm doing it correctly. Don't need any backseat bartenders going. And this one it got increasingly worse as we get new technology and everybody has a smartphone in their pocket. Will you take our picture? Yes, I will take your picture with your smartphone. It can be annoying if you're very busy. I'm not here to be a photographer. I'm here to be a bartender, make drinks, make money. But, people are having a good time. It can suck. If you want me to take a picture, that's fine. If you want me to use multiple phones, get them all out there at one time. Don't let me take the picture, hand a phone back, and then someone else go, oh, now my phone. Oh, now my phone. Oh, put all your phones down. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and take all your pictures. Now you all have it on your phone. Don't know why you can't just take one and text it to each other, but it can be kind of annoying. But if I have time, I'll stop and take your picture. This one used to get me at the place I worked at in Florida, AJ's Seafood and Oyster Bar. That I would get this one a lot, and it's pretty common that people come in and tell you they know the owner. So he didn't, I saw him today. He didn't mention you. So how well do you know him? And I think it's hilarious. I don't know why everybody thinks they know the owner. But at AJ specifically, it would crack me up, because the owner, for one summer I was there, was living on a boat docked at his restaurant. So he was living on a houseboat. So I saw him every day. He's a super nice guy. Here's the thing, though. His name is not AJ. His initials is not AJ. His first name is Alec. But the restaurant's not named after him or any family member to be called AJ's. Okay? It is no one's actual initials. It is certainly not the initials of the owner. So people would come in and tell me they know the owner, AJ. And that's how I know you don't know the owner, because nobody calls him AJ, because those are not his initials. Okay? So thought that was hilarious, but would get it all the time. Oh, we know AJ. No, you don't. You don't know the owner because his name is not AJ. But people do that all the time. Yeah. I try not to be rude, but if someone's really a jerk, really saw him earlier, didn't mention you at all. God. Can you split this check over 10 credit cards for us? Really? Really, I have to split it 10 ways, or I have to try to figure out everybody, everybody's different individual drinks at the end of the night instead of at the beginning of the night. We all could have asked to have separate tabs and all given me a credit card. Can be very annoying, but what are you going to do? And unfortunately, it'll take you more time to split it than it's going to be worth in the end when you do end up getting the tip. Other thing with the bill, someone gets their bill. I didn't order all these drinks. Yes, you did. You most certainly did. Just because you're drunk and you don't remember it does not mean that you did not order them. I did not serve them to you and you did not drink them. Found it very funny. Had a regular in Scottsdale one time. And mind you, he was drunk. But he kind of flew out over his tab one day, which I found very weird because his tab was about the same every night. It was the same amount. But he read it and it said 8 Bud Lights, which he had 8 Bud Lights. 8 shots of Jose Cuervo 1800, which he had 8 shots of Jose Cuervo 1800. But in his drunken state, he thought that he had been charged for 8 Bud Lights at one time in one round. So he was making a big deal. I never ordered 8 Bud Lights at once. You charge me 8 Bud Lights. No, that's 8 Bud Lights over the course of the night. It's 8 Bud Lights total. 8 Bud Lights total. I had to talk him down. Finally, I was able to reason with him. Go, look, dude, is your tab any more than it is every other night of the week? Because you're here every night of the week. It's like, well, no, then it's right. It's you pay about the same amount every night, and that's the amount. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So, sometimes you got to talk them down, and the alcohol makes you forget. That's just part of it. That's just the way it goes. I know you're not open yet, but can we come in and sit down anyway? It's like, no, we're not open. We still have work to do before people come in and sit down and start asking us for stuff and ordering stuff. Most places, I try to throw some ice in there early. Someone walks up and the bar's not quite ready, not tight open, and I can still throw them a cocktail, especially in situations where they're taking it out to the beach or they're taking it to somewhere else, so they're not just going to be sitting in the bar. But no, we're not open. Sorry, but we can't have people in here when they're not open. This one gets me. People say this all the time. I know you're busy, but, and I geared myself with a response to it. Second, they say, I know you're busy, but I come back with, I'm never too busy for you. And it's a great line. Feel free to steal it because people light up the second you say it to them. I know you're busy, but I'm never too busy for you. Oh, thank you. Can I just get, a glass of water and get something else? Can I get another cocktail? This person can get annoying. The curious cat at the bar. Hey, what's that? What do you use that for? What's that stuff? Is that wine? What's that over there? Yeah, I'm working. I'm trying to make money. I'm not really here to educate you and point out everything in the bar that I have that I'm working with. That person can be a little annoying. Do you know any tricks? No, because I'm not a trained SEAL and this is not SeaWorld. Okay, I'm here to make drinks, not to amuse you with my juggling. I don't taste alcohol in this drink. Well, if you order a drink where you're not going to taste alcohol, such as a frozen daiquiri or a Long Island iced tea, you ordered a drink where you're not going to taste alcohol. But usually that's the first sign that someone's had too much, when they can't taste the alcohol in your drinks. Your tongue starts to swell. You slur your speech. At the same time, your taste buds start to get numbed and doled out, which is why Taco Bell tastes great when you're drunk, because your taste buds are messed up. Eventually, your tongue gets pickled, and you just can't taste the alcohol because all you're going to taste for several hours is alcohol because you have that much in your system. So first tip, I don't taste alcohol in this, so this tastes weak. Yeah, you probably, I don't know. That's probably your last one. and we're going to call it a night for you. Um, do you make good money here? That is a way inappropriate personal question to be asking someone how much money you make. You don't go to the bank and ask the teller if they make good money. I don't go to the car dealership and ask the salesman if he makes good money. No, it's a personal thing. No one should be asking you about how much money you make. That's a personal thing. That's for you and your boss to know. Last call, really? And that happens a lot because, well, we don't have blackouts. People like to call them blackouts. They're not blackouts. What happens is you time travel. Okay. I'm sitting in a bar. I'm having a cocktail. It's midnight. Feels like I'm sitting in the same place having the same cocktail, but now it's 1:30 in the morning. And I forget those 3 cocktails in between. Like, no, I was just sipping this cocktail at midnight. No, you've had 3 more, but you forgot and you time traveled from midnight into the future to 1:30. It is now last call, last chance to get one. And the other kind of thing comes to last call. Last call is last call. I don't make the laws, okay? And if I have, most places will make last call, in a half hour before we're going to send the people out. Different states have different laws about what you can do. So, in California at 2 a.m., all drinks have to be off the table. No one can have a drink in their hand at 1:59, basically, at 2 o'clock. So, yeah, at 1:30, it's last call. We're going to give you 30 minutes to drink that drink. But at 2 o'clock, that drink is either going in here or it's going in the garbage, because that's it. We have to have them off the table. But in different situations and different states, it's as long as you buy the drink before the cutoff time, you can still stay and consume the drink for another hour. I believe that's the way we used to work in Arizona when I lived there. That can be kind of annoying. You're ready to close. It's last call. Someone orders a pitcher of beer at 1:59 and then sits there and nurses it for an hour when you're ready to go home and clean up and put the bar stools up. But it happens, So most places have a policy put in place. Go by the policy. Hey, we make last call at 1:30. All drinks have to be off the table at 2 o'clock. And this is this is another personal one, because this is the craziest one I've ever heard. So I was down in Florida, in Destin, Florida, in 2010, when there was the BP oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. And it really hurt the tourism. Our beaches weren't that bad, but we did have oil on the beach. We did have tar balls and basically chunks of oil you'd find in the sand washing up. But generally, it wasn't too bad. We stayed out of the water for the summer. But, we didn't get it as bad as some places because we weren't as close as some places. But people would come into our restaurant and ask us if the fish had oil on it, as if we were getting oil-covered fish from the Gulf of Mexico and then serving them to people in our restaurant. I answered, does your fish have oil on it? 100 times, if not more, that summer. And it's a crazy, crazy thought to think that people legitimately felt like they had to ask if we were serving oily fish from the BP oil spill. We would have to explain to them that the Gulf of Mexico is a very large body of water, and that there are places in the Gulf of Mexico that do not have oil in them. It is a very specific location. It is not that big considering the size of the body of water. Our fish are coming from the places with no oil. No one's fishing where there's oil. No one's even allowed where there's oil. It's toxic. It's cut off. Okay. So it's just, you really never know how weird or crazy the questions are going to be. And the last one I'll end on, because this is just the most disrespectful thing that people have asked me and another bartenders. I found this one come up several times. What's your real job? This is my real job. This pays the bills. This lets me do whatever I want to do. I've gotten to move from one side of the country to the other and back and forth at my leisure, being a bartender. I've got to live in Mexico. I've got to do all kinds of things. Go to all the festivals I wanted to, go to the beach 7 days a week, being a bartender. and making money as a bartender. So it is a super disrespectful, thing to say. It's funny. I'm originally from Los Angeles, and you can ask probably 95% of the servers and bartenders there what they really do, and they are an aspiring something, aspiring actor, musician, writer. They're an aspiring something. That's just what they do for money, so that they have their daytime to practice in their band or go to auditions or stuff like that. But generally, this is a great profession. I've made great money. I've had a great time, and got to do all the things I wanted to do. Someone one time went a little even deeper than that on me. Not just, oh, why are you doing that? This is your real job, or, this is all you do. One person actually, and this is a manager at a place, actually said, you seem smart. Why do you do this? For the money. I like to make the money every day because I know how to do it. It was she meant it as a compliment, but it was very disrespectful. So those are just some of the things that questions that bartenders get asked a lot, and comments that people will throw out there kind of unwittingly, unknowingly, and they don't really mean anything by it. Is the thing just that people go out, they leave their brains at home, and that's really all there is to it. So I'm gonna grab some water real quick. All right, so let's talk about some Easter cocktails and get some ideas here. So got some ideas here. I'm definitely going to do some wine drinks and some champagne drinks because Easter Easter brunch. A lot of places have an Easter Sunday champagne brunch. So champagne drinks definitely a thing that we associate with Easter. But before that, I'd actually like to start with a little bit of a different drink. And I've got my handy dandy new mixing tin here that they sent me from local bartending school. Awesome folks they are. We're going to make a drink here called an Oklahoma Prairie Fire. And it sounds delicious. This would be a little something different, for people that you had at your party or at your bar. Don't necessarily want to go the champagne route or, the vodka whiskey route. This is going to be made with mezcal. Mezcal is made from agaves, just like tequila. Tequila only comes from the blue agave. Mezcal can be made from 40 different types of agaves. Mezcal has a smokiness to it, a nice smoky flavor. So this drink is going to have some smokiness to it, some sweetness, some sourness, nice flavor, nice balance. So what I want to do here is I've got my mixing tin, I've got my ice, not too high, about 2/3 of the way up. Make sure we can lock our cap in there. And once again, this stuff is just colored water. I don't want to waste any booze out here. I don't have anyone to drink all these things. So we're just working with our colored water here. Going to go ahead and put 1.5 ounces of our clear here, which would be our 1.5 ounces of mezcal. Then we're going to go ahead and do some fresh lime juice. And I'm going to take the ends off this lime because they just squeeze better in the squeezer. Cut this in half. And once again, half a lemon, half a lime is about 1/2 ounce of juice. So we're going to put him in there, get our 1/2 ounce of fresh lime juice in there as well. All right, so set that down. Where's my simple syrup? Also going to do 1/2 ounce here of my simple syrup. There we go, giving it some sweetness to balance out the lime. Going to give it a couple dashes of some orange bitters. Going to give it a nice little bitter orange flavor. So it's got some sweetness, it's got some sour, it's got some bitterness to kind of balance itself out. And we're going to give it a nice little color. Just going to put a touch of my grenadine in there. Give it a little bit of a pink color and a little more sweetness to it, a little bit of fruity flavor. Okay, awesome. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this mixture, lock my glass in there, give it a nice shake, and just get that mixed up and diluted a little bit. Come back with my Collins glass here. And go ahead and grab some fresh ice. Go into my Collins glass. One more. There we go. And we'll go ahead and strain this mixture out over some fresh ice. There we go. And then we're going to finish it off with some orange juice. Just like that. Give it a nice straw here. Oh, I almost forgot something. Almost forgot. We're going to get a little mix here. I'm going to let that drip out. And then we're going to give it a little rim here of tahini. So if you're not familiar with tahini, it's chilies with lime and salt. So we're going to have a little spiciness, a little saltiness, and a little liminess here on the rim with my tahini rim. There we go. So I can take my lime, my glass, it's nice and sticky. Put it in there. Get that tahini chili powder on there, like that. Pour our drink back in. Just like that. Now we'll give it our straw. And let's give it a nice garnish here. We've got a lime right here. We'll give it a nice lime wheel there on the side to garnish it. And we have our Oklahoma Prairie Fire. Nice cool color, a little bit of spiciness to it as well. Perfect for Sunday morning, for Sunday brunch. If you don't like, traditional stuff or champagne, this is an excellent, excellent choice. So let's wipe this down just a little bit. All right. So let's do this one first. So let's do a champagne drink. I'm gonna rinse out my pint glass here. We'll do this one on the pint glass. Okay. So we're going to do a champagne drink. I'm going to grab a champagne glass here. And what I'm going to start with is a little bit of rosemary. I'm going to take some rosemary from my garden. Take the stem piece off. There we go. And put it in there. And grab a little bit more. Yeah, grab a little bit more and put it in there. And then this is going to be a grapefruit rosemary mimosa. So I've got my rosemary in there. What I'm going to need is a little bit of grapefruit juice. So cut the end off this grapefruit. Before I do that, I'm actually going to take a twist off the side. Got my nice twist there. We'll cut the top off this grapefruit. And that should be just about enough juice for there. Sticker off it. Cut this and cut the end off here. Cut this into a couple chunks. I've got some pink grapefruit in there with my rosemary. I've got my twist right there. Then we're going to go ahead and add some simple syrup. Give it a little sweetness, just about a half ounce of this. Get that in there. Now we're going to give it a nice muddle. We're going to mash that up so that we've got some fresh pink grapefruit juice. And we're going to release the flavor from the rosemary as we muddle it and give it a nice little crushing there. All right. I'm going to throw a little bit of ice in here. Give it just a quick dilution here. And chill it out just a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to strain this juice out. I'm going to give it a double strain. I'm going to make sure I'm not getting any chunks of rosemary or anything like that in there. I just need my grapefruit juice and my simple syrup, my rosemary essence. It's just going to be a little bit like that. Got my grapefruit juice, got my simple syrup in there, got my rosemary in there. We're going to wash that out. Now, I just need my sparkling wine. And this is just some sparkling apple cider, some Martinelli's here, so that we're not wasting real champagne out here. But we'll get the same effect. Fill it up nicely to the top. Take our time so we don't go over. And then we're going to finish it off here with our nice peel here of our grapefruit outside all the way around the rim. Give a nice squeeze over the top, get that essence in there. We can drop that in there. And then we can also give it a nice sprig of rosemary in there as well. And we have our grapefruit rosemary mimosa. Perfect for Easter brunch, champagne brunch, anything like that. Great, great drink right there. Really easy to make, not too hard to make. So we'll set you off to the side, see what else we can come up with. You know, this one's good. This is just a good kind of spring drink. You know, the weather's changing. It's very warm out here in California where I live. So this is a great drink for the spring. You get a lot of these spring, summertime. These are ordered quite often, which is an Aperol spritzer. Now, if you're not familiar with Aperol, Aperol is this liqueur right here. It's an aperitivo. They call aperitivo Italian liqueur. Generally, you know, before dinner drinks, it's an aperitif. You know, kind of taste of fruit. It's a little like Campari, but I don't believe it's as bitter as Campari. Campari has quite a bit of bitterness to it. Aperol is a little bit on the sweeter side. So I want to take a big wine glass like this. And what I want to do is put a full shot of Aperol in there. Do I have, and this is about the color of Aperol here. Let me change that. Stop the share. All right. So we have our faux Aperol. We'll go ahead and do 1.5 ounces of Aperol into our wine glass like that. And then what we want to do is half Prosecco, Italian sparkling wine. And then we also want to do the other half with just some club soda. Just like that. And for me as well. And then we want to give it a nice piece of orange, garnish it with, so, you know, sometimes oranges can be big. I don't want to put the whole half wheel on there or the whole half moon on there. So I can do them into little quarters like this. So I just have a nice chunk of orange. Go on the side there, just like that. We'll put a nice straw in there. And we have our Aperol spritzer ready to go for Easter, ready to go for spring, ready to go for summertime. Easy drink to make, really delicious summertime drink. You don't have to memorize the recipe. If you have the Aperol bottle, you have the recipe, it's printed on the back, just spin it around. It's right on the back. So easy one to remember because it's on the bottle. So not too hard. You know, I know sometimes it's hard to memorize all the drinks. I'll do 2 more. One I'll throw out, black jelly bean. If I do half dark Sambuca and half Chambord raspberry liqueur, it makes a black jelly bean. It kind of tastes like a black jelly bean. I'm going to do one more champagne drink, and this one's pretty easy. So we're going to grab a glass. And what I want to do for this one is I'm going to do a little bit of OJ. So I'm going to do 1/2 ounce here of orange juice. There we go. And then I'm going to do 1/2 ounce here of 1/2 of my cream to make this creamy. What we're going to do is an orange creamsicle mimosa. So I've got my 1/2 ounce cream, I've got my 1/2 ounce of orange juice. Now I need some sugar to go in there and sweeten this up. So I'm just going to put a spoonful of sugar in there, just like that. And then I'm going to give it a little stir and just kind of get that sugar to start dissolving into the other ingredients there. So it's just kind of dissolved a little. Throw just a little bit of ice in here and chill it out just a little bit. But the juice and the milk are cold, so the juice and the 1/2 are cold, but we'll still give it just a little dilution like this. And then grab a screen. We're going to pour this out into our champagne flute, our orange juice and sugar and cream. And then we're just going to top it off with some sparkling wine. And there is sugar in it, so it's going to foam up quite a bit. I'm going to let it settle and take kind of a minute here, and we'll continue to finish it off. It is going to be a drink that's going to take a minute to settle because it's going to bubble up extra well. But when we're done, going to put a nice little orange wedge on there, just like that. Boop. And we end up with a nice orange creamsicle mimosa, perfect for Easter Sunday brunch, having some fun. And we'll keep topping that one off as it goes through. All right, so one more, and I'm going to do this one because I just don't feel like I've done it enough. And I know it's not in the book. I find it funny that it's not in, the bar book from when I went to bartending school 20 plus years ago. We're just going to do an old fashioned. Not too hard to do, pretty easy drink. It's still, one of the most popular drinks in the world that people order. So it's important to make, a decent old fashioned. So I'm going to get my handy dandy bar spoon clean. Going to start off with my glass. We're going to go ahead and put half a slice of orange in there. Got my little orange pieces in there. And then we're going to use this other half, and I'm going to take an orange, twist off it. So just there we go. That's a nice one there. And take that. So I've got my orange in there. Next thing I need is my sugar. I'm going to go ahead and throw my spoonful of sugar in there for my old fashioned. Then we're going to need a couple dashes of bitters in the sugar. Get that bitter taste in there. And then we're going to need a cherry. So I'm going to grab my maraschino cherries here. If I can get them open. There we go. Now, it is a nice touch to take the stem off. No one really needs the stem in their drink. No one needs the stem muddled in there with everything else. So nice touch if you can. Take the stem off of the drink. So got all my ingredients in there now. Grab my muddle here over here. And that's all it takes to smash a cherry. Just like that. It doesn't take much more to just get the juice out of those oranges. And that's all you really have to do. You don't necessarily have to grind it up into little pieces. But if you are double straining it like I'm about to do here, yeah, you can mash it up, you can grind it up, you can go to town. That stuff's not going to end up in the final cocktail. So we're going to get some ice in here. And we're going to give this old-fashioned a nice little stir. Right. So next thing we need then to make our old-fashioned whiskey. And, I always ask the people, what kind of whiskey do you like? No one wants a whiskey old-fashioned. They definitely have a go-to. They just forget to tell the bartenders. So we're going to go ahead and do, oh, that one's got cream in it. I'm going to go ahead and do 2.5 ounces, 5 of our faux whiskey here. All right, we're going to take our spoon with a nice stir. Just get all that stuff mixed together, everything going in there, just like that. That's all it really takes to chill it out and dilute it. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and grab our bucket glass and strain this over some fresh ice. Okay. And we got our strainer. Wash that off. Strain it over the fresh ice here. Come on, big guy. And then traditional recipe doesn't actually call for soda water. In 2022, people expect soda water on top. Anyone who doesn't want soda water on top will order without soda water. So, put a little splash of soda in there. Bam, we're good to go. I'm going to take my orange twist now. Since we've taken all the fruit and stuff out of there, we're going to give it an orange twist. All the way around, and squeeze it. And if I take my bar pick and I take a cherry, well, not get one. Come on. I can take my bar pick through my orange like this. I can put it into my cherry, take it through the other side of the orange, and I have a nice little garnish that sits on there like that with a cherry and a piece of orange. And we have our old-fashioned perfect classic cocktail for Easter. Thank you very much for watching. We will be back next Wednesday with a new topic. Hope to see you then. Otherwise, have a great week and stay safe. Thank you.